What's up, everybody? I'm Rodney.
I'm Jamal.
This is Vince.
And I'm Kaiser.
And we are
Under construction.
All right, so this week we're going to just hop into it to our segment called
What the puck?
Yeah.
What the puck? What the puck?
So this week, the Hurricanes swept away those New York Islanders, those nasty transplants. Guys, what do you guys think of the Hurricanes so far? Do you think they're playoff favorites? What do you guys think?
All right, so being the resident
Yeah.
hockey black guy, I
Black
won't
guy.
bore you with too many technical hockey terms, but there was, the Hurricanes were essentially equivalent of a 7th seed this year. The NHL changed their playoff format to kind of match the MLB playoff format, except with 8 teams instead of 6.
Okay.
They were 11 games out of the final wild card spot before the All-Star break.
Wow.
They ended up having the third best record in the league after the All-Star break, and that got them to the 7th seed. And so, just like any sport, it's really all about when you get hot and can you carry that momentum. And they've been
Kinda
able
like football, yeah.
right? They've been able to do that through the first 2 rounds. They were able to beat the Washington Capitals, which were essentially the number 2 seed and the defending champs, and then they go to beat the Islanders. A lot of people after they beat the Capitals, but they're going to get stomped out by the Islanders.
Yeah.
Although the Islanders, weren't like a great team. They overcame some odds in their first round matchup, but to sweep the Islanders, I think says a lot. And this Columbus Boston series is big for Carolina because Boston would be heavily favored, whereas Columbus is essentially the last wild card spot. So you would have a 7 and an 8 seed in the Eastern Conference Finals in the NHL.
Wow.
I don't know if that's ever happened before, but that would be big because then you would have to favor Carolina to go back to the Stanley Cup Finals.
AKA things that will never happen in the NBA.
Never at all.
Hey, well, first off, let me say this. No matter what sport it is, anytime a Carolina team can beat a New York team,
It's always a good day.
It is just
Awesome.
absolutely
It's always a good day.
glorious. So let's get that out, first. But I'm not able to give you guys a ton of stats, just like Kaiser was. But with everything that's happened with this Hurricane team this season, they like Kaiser said, they started off a little slow, then they had the whole bunch of jerks thing happen, and for them to get their first ever sweep in a 7-game series in the history of their franchise with the coach who was on their only part of the championship team. It's pretty dope. It's pretty good.
Destiny, man.
And last week I told you guys that I didn't want to watch any games because I was afraid I was going to jinx them. Right? And I just want everybody to know that I've been able to watch 2 games.
And they won.
Both games.
Good job.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I watched game 3 and I watched game 4. And it's funny because during game 3, it was a close game throughout the first 2 periods. And it was Carolina went up 1-0, then it was 1-1, Carolina went up 2-1, and then it was like 2-2. And then Carolina basically just said, okay, well, we're done playing with you now. And then next thing you know, it's like 5-2 or something. And the first 2 periods, you can feel the crowd being very tense because they didn't know what was going to happen. But that 3rd period came and it just got further and further away. And I think they were up 4-2. There was about 1:23 left in the game, and they got what's the hockey equivalent of fast break?
It's a break. They call it a breakout.
Okay, breakout. Okay. So they got a breakout, and I'm sitting here thinking Buddy is just gonna take the puck and just kind of kill some block. Nah, he wouldn't have scored. He wouldn't have
Which
scored.
Islanders fans were mad at Aho from the Hurricanes because he scored an empty net goal after it was already 4-2. But that's you didn't want him to score the empty net goal. You should have stopped him. So the Hurricanes are kind of the Joel Embiid said something recently that I don't agree with. He said that essentially said that chemistry is overrated.
Yeah.
Teams like the Hurricanes disprove that.
Mm-hmm.
They are not nearly as talented as the team that won. The team that won the Cup in 2006. They had a future 5-time All-Star in Eric Stahl. They had a future All-Star goalie in Cam Moore. They had Rob Brennamore, 2-time Defenseman of the Year. They had a really talented team.
Mm-hmm.
This team doesn't really have as much talent as, even the Islanders, have more talent.
Right.
And they've been injured throughout the playoffs, but they just have that good chemistry. They're very aggressive. They have a sound defensive scheme. Rob Brennamore is doing an awesome job as a rookie head coach. Take note, James Borrego. But,
So let me ask you a question. Don Cherry recently cut a double down on some statements, called us front runners, and basically just
You know what?
solidified the jury. What do you guys feel about that?
Don Cherry, we all front runners. Screw you, dude. I've said this like a whole bunch of times, man. North Carolina professionally needs something. Get off our sack, man. The Hornets have struggled. The Panthers ain't make the playoffs. Can we have something, Don Cherry? Is it okay? Like, in every single sport, man, when the team gets some success out of the blue, man, there are going to be casual fans.
Yeah,
There are going to be bandwagon fans. At least the bandwagon is North Carolina based. We're not some North Carolina. We're not North Carolina fans like, yeah, go Bruins. Like most summer people like go Lakers, but that's another story. But anyway, yes, Don Cherry, we are on the bandwagon, and we are very proud bandwagon fans. So whatever, man. Look, take your old grumpy ass somewhere. I don't care, man. Go Canes. I might give myself I might steal this jersey and ride up to Raleigh and watch us win this cup, man. So yeah, I'm all for it, man.
go Canes.
Let's go
Hey,
Canes,
that's
man.
what's up. That's what's up.
And, the Raleigh fans, though, to talk about bandwagoners, I mean, they've always been very rabid about the Canes.
Yeah.
Granted, in the down seasons, like any team,
The attendance won't be
right,
as high.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, everyone knows that Raleigh is one of the toughest rinks to play in the NHL. I mean, it's loud. It is
No,
loud there.
and one thing I noticed about watching that game was the environment. I kept looking at it like, man, I would love to be there, man. Like, it just looked it looked like just this sea of blood, red and black, and it looked kind of like apocalyptic. And I was like, that is so dope, man. Like, that environment was something I would love to be a part of, man. Like, I'm proposing an under construction field trip to Raleigh soon. So yeah.
Let's go.
All right.